So, but I had to make it look good. Sure. So I walked up with him. I said, okay. I said, all right, Chad. I go, you're for the match of your life. And he was like, excuse me? He was like, I'm like, oh, God. I'm in trouble. At least if I can make this look, at least make it look presentable. Have a little pride. Don't go down right away. Just try to stick it out, Sure. So he walks up with me, and I grab his hand. It was like walking up with an outfielder's baseball mitt. I mean, his hand went down to my wrist. I'm like, yeah. I'm in trouble. And before he could even say, okay, go, my arm went through the table and was like broke right through the table. And I was like, all right. Well, I had the honor of wrestling the great Chad Eaton, but I don't know, man. It was just like I thought I could do a little better than that, but the guys were telling me I was talking to Chris Slade, and Chris Slade told me he says, yeah, he's beaten all the Patriots. I think one of the other managers said to me, he wrestled Willie McGinnis. He beat McGinnis. He's a beast. He arm wrestled McGinnis. He arm wrestled Slade. He arm wrestled everyone on the team and beat everybody. And he's just that's his thing is arm wrestling. And he says to lose to Chad Eaton, it's still respectable because Chad Eaton's one of the best arm wrestlers in the world. So just the fact they actually nominated you to wrestle him is an honor. But the fact that someone put money on you, someone put $50 on you, that you win, I was like, I am honored that you actually put money on me. But it was, oh my Lord, you don't realize how big some of these wrestlers, NFL guys are when you see them in person. It blows your mind how big these guys are. 7 feet tall. Even when McGinnis was there, he was like, I don't know what they registered him at his height, but he looked like he was like 6'9". I mean, he was like, wow.
No, I have no part of that, man. No part of that at all.
It was really something, man. It was, yeah. I think I'm all set talking about Chad Eaton for now. I got 100% respect for Chad Eaton, one of the strongest guys I've ever seen in my life. So I'll just let it go with that, okay?
Yeah. I have some new respect for Chad myself. I don't think I'll be. So, have you ever given any thought of stepping back into the bodybuilding realm and getting up on stage, or is that completely in the past for you?
We always want to try to do things that we used to do. I would like to, but it's almost like unless you can be 100% on your game, you almost don't want to. Sure. I mean, I would like to, but then you think, oh man, I got a bad back from wrestling. I got a bad knee from wrestling. Can I really train as hard as I want to with the kids and crazy schedules? But it'll always be a passion. I never say never, because I think even right now I'm still in very good shape. But like I said, I never say never, but I don't know. It's almost like it's hard to even say, man. You always want to. You're always a kid at heart, and I'll always be a young guy, even as I get older. Mentally, I always feel like I'm 21.
Sure.
But sometimes I don't know. You just gotta let it go. I think, But I had a great time with it, and like I said, I never rule it out. But it goes back to all the respect I have for all those athletes. That it takes such a, as you know, it takes such a great amount of discipline and sacrifice, and you got to dedicate 100% of your time and effort to it. And I get too much respect for any sport, whether it be bodybuilding or wrestling or anything. If I couldn't give it my 100% effort in my diet, in my nutrition, I know I could do it. But if I could, I have too much respect for any sport. But if I couldn't do it 100% the way I wanted to, I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
I get too much respect for the other athletes and you guys and everybody else to do that. That's just me.
I'm 100% father right now, and that I'm not saying anything against competitors that or athletes that compete, and our parents at the same time, but with me being 100% father, that's always my priority. And,
yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you.
You'll get to midweek, I'll get to midweek, and the wife will say, this weekend we got that, this weekend we got this weekend we got that. And I'm a man. I can't juggle all that stuff in my head. I just follow
You said it,
blindly.
man.
So
You said it, man.
I have big respect for these people that have kids and compete, because I could never do it. No way.
Absolutely, man. It's just, it's a sign of the times. They always say, I mean, I'll always be a part of it, though. I'll always follow it. I see young guys in my gym all the time, any gym I go to, and they're always sitting there. They might say, what can I do for my arms, or how can I train my legs or something. I'm always, I'm always asking guys myself, man, what can I do to help me? I'm getting older. What does that have to do for this? Or how much cardio do you do here? What do you do for this? So I'm always asking questions, but I'm always taking questions from other guys. So I'm always around it. And for me, that fills the void. Even if you're not a competitor, I mean, even if you're not a competitive bodybuilder, I'm not in a wrestling ring anymore. I'm still around it, man. I still enjoy watching it at times. I still enjoy, being in the gym and helping young guys. Or it still fills the void, man. Just to be around it, and it's not the same as it used to be. In the fall of 2000, I was in contract with Joey Styles at ECW for a scheduled tryout, which that was a huge honor. It went bankrupt, but there's all these things I look back on. I miss it. I miss that stuff. It was such a great time, and I mean it's a great way to fill the void, to just try to stay around it and be active in it, because to just shut it off cold turkey. That's why some of these athletes go crazy. Like you said earlier. But I think as long as you're not an active competitor, as long as you're still involved in it and still doing things like even with the modeling, the photo shoots, and the fitness, as long as it's still included in that does fill the void. You know what I'm getting at?
Absolutely.
But that's what it is, man. I mean, it is kind of a funny statement, but even guys I've known over the years, especially back in the 90s, mid-90s, late 90s, they would always say, I was referred to by many that I knew over the years as like an Irish version of Ricky Williams. And I say that because I'm a relatively shy and humble person. And, they said, you guys' physiques are very similar. I got quite a few tattoos. I got when I wrestled, made a transition from wrestling, from bodybuilding to wrestling. I got a bunch of, strategically placed tattoos. But
sure.
I've always marched the beat of my own drum, and I've always done things my own way. And sometimes it's been a little scrutiny there. Sometimes I've gotten a little bit of flack, and some people don't always agree with my training methods or my rationale. But it just, I have no regrets, man. My case in point, when I look back on this stuff, and like I said, the bodybuilding and the wrestling and the modeling, I did the best I could, man, with what I had. And as I get older, I even though there's things I wish I could have done that I didn't do, the main thing is that I did everything at 100%, man. Just like all the guys on your site, they train 100%. They have no regrets because they break their ass, and that's the only thing you can do.
The point you bring up, it really ties into what we talked about earlier in enjoying the ride. I'm kind of the same way. I do my own thing, train my own way, and a lot of times it's not conventional with standard wisdom or whatever. But the point I try to stress, and the point you just made, is part of enjoying the process, is just being your own person, learning your own body and just enjoying the ride. And
I couldn't agree more with you, man. I mean, anything I wanted to do, usually I did. And even if someone would say, "What are you doing that for?" or "Why do you want to do this?" It even goes back to these young guys that are training. If you feel that you want to train a certain way and you think you're gonna get a lot of benefits out of that, then do it.